Okay folks, it is Saturday, September 24th. Just wanted to update you on the aquaponics system here. I'm going to start off with an update on the water chemistry. It has now been 3 weeks since I stopped feeding the fish. That was due to very high nitrate levels in the water, so stopped the input, stopped the feed to try to get the nitrate levels down. Now it's been 3 weeks, and as you can see, the nitrate tube, that's the one all the way on the right, it's still reading pretty high levels. Now I've let this tube sit there a little longer than about double the amount of time you're supposed to wait. After the 5-minute mark, it wasn't quite as red as it is now, but it was between the 40 and 80 parts per million. So it's still really high. It's not as high as it was before. Before it was off the charts, but it is still too high, or higher than I want it to be anyways. The middle tube is the ammonia. You can see that is super low, so obviously the fish aren't producing as much ammonia, but even if they were, there's enough bacteria in the system to quickly convert that into nitrate. The one that's probably changed the most is the pH. That was down at 6.6, 6.8 before, and it was getting a little bit too acidic for me, so I added some potassium to the system, and that kicked the pH up. Now it's at around 7.4. Probably added a little bit too much. But anyway, the amazing thing to me is that there's still such a high level of nitrate in the water. And, well, I'm not so surprised that the fish can go 3 weeks without eating, because that's what I've been told. And the fish are fine. It's hard to see them with all the bubbles and stuff, but they're fine. They're in there. I'm sure they would probably practically jump out of the water if I threw some food in there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let them go another week. As far as the plants go, this is my little herb plant, my little herb bed here with the rosemary and the aloe plant, some chives, and the tarragon there. This chive plant is humongous. This is just incredible. I don't think I've ever seen one of these that big before. And it makes the whole place smell. You can smell it the moment you walk in here. Okay, over here in this bed, I just want to show you how much these tomato plants have grown. This tomato plant, all of these tomato plants have been in here 2 weeks now. And if you remember from the past video, the tallest of them were about 6 or 7 inches, or 5 to 7 inches. And this is after just 2 weeks. And that is about 40 or so inches tall. So that's just phenomenal. And they're all pretty much like that. Then next to that one is this. This is a baby cucumber plant, and if you remember just 2 weeks ago how small that was, here's another tomato plant. Then here's this oregano again. I got to cut that back again. That's just totally gotten out of control. Here's another tomato plant. Again, that's been in here 2 weeks. This one didn't grow quite as much as the other one, but it's still tripled, more than tripled in size. It's quadrupled in size in 2 weeks. These other plants in here, I was just messing around. These are just some flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers these are, but they look pretty. And I don't know if they, if maybe they'll attract some bugs that'll eat bad bugs that attack my plants sometimes. But that's kind of why I'm putting them in here. Here's another tomato plant. This one's about 36, 37 inches tall. Again, it was only 5 or 6 when we planted it 2 weeks ago. Back here's another baby cucumber plant, tomato plant. These are some strawberry plants that had come out of the other bed. It doesn't look like, well, they're not dead, but it doesn't look like they've taken very well. Here's another baby cuc plant, another baby cuc plant, another baby cuc plant. So we could have a lot of cucumbers here in the near future. Here's a nice basil plant. It's doing well. And then as far as the lettuces go, these have been disappointing. The first two rafts, this one and this one, are going on 3 weeks now. And, well, okay, this bed up to this row, from here that way, that's going on 3 weeks. From here this way, these are going on 4 weeks. And most of these I can take, but 4 weeks is too long. It shouldn't take that long. And these others that are on their third week, well, at the end of their third week, these should be ready. These should be where these are now. Why they're not there? My only guess is the pH change. I guess maybe that changes the absorption properties of the lettuce. I don't know what else it could be, but I'm slightly disappointed. I brought a bunch of new lettuce starters thinking I was going to replace all of these today, but I'm not going to be able to do that. There are my lettuce starters over there. And anyway, that's about it. Here's my wicking bed producing more jalapenos than I know what to do with. And hopefully I'll have some nice chili plants coming out of here soon. But that's the update. Here's the tomato plant we put in this wicking bed. And I know that this hasn't grown as much as the other ones, but I really don't know how to measure this because look how curved and crooked it is. I mean, how do I measure how tall this thing is? I don't know. But it's definitely has not performed as well as the other ones, although it's probably performed better than a tomato plant that was in the regular soil and not in a wicking bed. So that's the update for the week. Hopefully those nitrate levels come down. I'm guessing another week or so, and we can start picking fish again. Alright, today's Sunday, September 25th. Just wanted to do a quick another quick update here. I went ahead and harvested the lettuce heads that were in this raft bed and in the first row of this bed. Took those out. They were a little inconsistent. I had some really nice fully grown ones and then some other ones that were borderline. They could have stayed in the system a few more days probably, but I wanted to get a new batch in here. And I had bought enough lettuce starters to actually fill up the entire raft system because I thought that they would all be ready today, and since they're not, I ended up putting some of those starters in this gravel bed over here, and kind of just as an experiment. I don't expect them to do that great because I had tried this once before I had the raft system, and they hadn't done that well. That's why I set up a raft system. So anyway, I'll just try them there because otherwise they're going to go to waste. There are a bunch here in these little trays that are going to end up going to waste. Anyway, I even put some over here in the wicking bed just for fun. I took the tomato plant out of there, out of the end. It didn't look like that was going to do very well. So I took it out, I washed the roots off, and I moved it over here to this raft bed. Over here, this is it. You can see it's all bent because that's the way it was growing in that wicking bed, but it'll probably straighten itself out here shortly. And I also cut this oregano plant back. I just cut this back 3 weeks ago, and it was already getting huge and blocking a lot of light, so I decided to cut it back. Oregano is probably not a plant that needs to be in an aquaponic system because it grows like a weed anyways, and I have it in all the other places I have it. It grows like crazy anyways in regular potted plants, so there's really no need to have one in here unless you want to impress friends. And then the rest of these are tomato plants. This one here, I don't know why that's bent over like that. I already have to get something to stand these up with because they're getting too big. And this one here, this is a miniature cucumber plant. In yesterday's video I'd said these tomato plants were 2 weeks old, but I was wrong. Those are 3 weeks. It's the cucumber plants that have been in 2 weeks. But it's still pretty impressive growth for 3 weeks. When we planted these, I mean, they were down to about here. So you're talking about tripling in growth, tripling in size in 3 weeks, maybe a little bit more than that. I took out a couple of these flowers. They were just taking up space and blocking light. And that's about it. I was impressed by the root system on those flowers. Those are calendulas, I think. At least that's what they're called in Spanish. But check out these roots on these things. That's not bad. I mean, that's not bad for a little dinky flower plant. They put out a good root system. So I'm kind of glad that I put these along at the edge of the house in an area where, well, these are all those flowers right there. And I also put them all along here. And I think they're going to do a good job of keeping the soil from washing away, and they look great, obviously, as well. So anyway, that's that, and so we harvested 12 lettuce heads today, and that's going to be it for now. Hopefully we'll have a lot of tomatoes and cucumbers real soon.